Davis, other members of the committee. It's a pleasure to be before you today to discuss GAO's reviews of the Department of Homeland Security's acquisition challenges in general and the U.S. Coast Guard's Deepwater program in particular. In January of 2003, the GAO designated DHS's implementation and transformation effort as a high-risk area because of the size and complexity of the effort and the existing challenges faced by many of the components of the 22 different entities that were merged into the Department of Homeland Security. Although DHS has made progress on addressing a number of these challenges, there are major items that remain, which therefore keeps it on our high-risk list. In fiscal 2006, DHS reported obligating $15.6 billion for acquisitions, making it the third largest federal department in spending taxpayer dollars in this area. DHS is undertaking large, complex investments as the federal government is increasingly relying upon contractors for roles and missions previously performed by government employees. Contractors have an important role to play in the discharge of the government's responsibilities, and in some cases, the use of contractors can result in improved economy, efficiency, and effectiveness. At the same time, they don't always result in improved economy, efficiency, and effectiveness. And there may be occasions when contractors are used to provide certain services because the government lacks another viable and timely option. In such cases, the government may actually be paying more and taking on more risk for such services as opposed to providing certain services by federal employees. Furthermore, giving more flexibility and responsibilities to contractors results in more risk to the government and to the taxpayers, which must be actively managed. In this environment of increased reliance on contractors, sound planning, effective contract execution, and ongoing oversight are critical for success. We have previously identified the need to examine the appropriate role for contractors to be among the greatest challenges facing the government in the 21st century. And I might add, we may be talking about DHS today, we may be talking about Deepwater today, but this is a systemic problem which, Mr. Chairman, I would respectfully suggest may be meritorious of having a separate hearing just on the contracting issue by itself. DHS has a stated goal of integrating the acquisition function more broadly across the department. We have reported that this goal has not yet been accomplished, and we've identified a number of key impediments to achieving it. From the outset, we've expressed some concerns about the risk involved with the Coast Guard's acquisition strategy for the Deepwater program. In 2004, we reported that well into the contract's second year, key components needed to manage the program and to oversee the system integrator's performance had not yet been effectively implemented. It was clear that there was a possibility for expectation gaps between what the Coast Guard may have wanted and what they might ultimately receive. We also reported that despite documented problems in schedule, performance, cost control, and contract administration through the first year of the Deepwater contract, the contractor had received a rating of 87%, which fell in the quote-unquote very good range and resulted in an award fee of $4 million of a maximum $4.6 million being paid. The federal government all too frequently is subject to grade inflation, not having adequate performance metrics, and paying fees, award fees, based upon attitude and efforts rather than real results. That's a systemic problem, and it needs to be addressed. However, a number of actions have been taken, and others remain to be taken in order to try to get control of the Deepwater situation. I must say that Admiral Allen inherited a number of problems. I would also like to say for the record that I've known Admiral Allen for many years. I have great respect for his leadership ability, and I know that he's taking this issue very, very seriously, and you'll hear from him later. We have ongoing work with regard to both SBI Net as well as the Deepwater program, which we'll be issuing in the near future. And in summary, let me just say, we may be talking about DHS acquisitions and Deepwater in particular today, but let me reiterate, this is a systemic problem throughout the entire federal government. The taxpayers lose billions of dollars a year. We have identified, Mr. Chairman and Ranking Member Davis, 15 government-wide systemic problems in the contracting area, and I would respectfully request at some point in time to have the opportunity to appear before this committee to discuss those, because I think they merit such a hearing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Walker. I share your concerns, and we'll continue to look at the big picture as well. Mr. Skinner?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Turn your microphone